after the war got paused for a couple of days, or I mean week, the main war between America versus Iran, America Israel versus Iran, well, it seems like it is going to get resumed again in the next coming days, because I mean, to be quite honest, the talks didn't went quite well. And as soon as this news came out, the price of crude oil again skyrocketed towards the upside, followed with US oil. I mean, crude oil basically means US oil only, US oil and Brent oil as well. The price of gold and silver also have seen a little bit pump towards the upside, but Bitcoin and other crypto are dumping towards the downside. Well, I've already made a video about it, so do watch that video as well about crypto. But right now, talking about crude oil, like what exactly is happening, because recently I posted a short video about crude oil. Well, it was dumping, and well, right now it has been recovered in a V shape and it is pumping towards the upside. So let's get straight to the point and discuss every single thing. Right now I'm on the crude oil's daily time frame chart. We have seen a huge parabolic pump. I won't even call this a parabolic pump. I would call it a linear incessant pump towards the upside. Literally in a single line we have seen the price of crude oil going all the way up till 118 $119 level, and then incessant dump as well. Again pump, again dump, and now again pump towards the upside. Well, this literally shows how much volatile the price of crude oil is. Also, how much manipulated. Plethora of people lost their money and only few made their money in this whole move. So, well, if I enable the coins again over here. So, first of all, I made a short video recently on crude oil discussing about this jump over here, why this jump happened, and what's next for crude oil. But again, after that, the war got resumed and it never got permanently settled, and there are very high chances. I mean, the news is coming out that the war between USA and versus Iran can get continued again. Well, because the talks failed, to be quite honest. So as soon as this news came out, the price of crude oil again started to pump towards the upside. Because see, the main reason is simple, because this whole war right now is focused on oil, and I mean, it's just simple that whenever a war happens, and in that war, if a country is in Middle East, or if that country has a very good supply of oil, then the price of crude oil will get, I won't say manipulated, but I will say the price of crude oil will get influenced very easily and very heavily. And why I'm not saying manipulation? Well, manipulation does happen for sure. I mean, the people who are in power right now, they can tweet anything and they can warn the other country that is containing plethora of oil, and so there's a lot of FOMO in the buyer and sellers, and there's a lot of uncertainty in the people throughout the world. The most important thing over here, as you can see, is that we are seeing a huge pump towards the upside again in the price of crude, but this gap is still yet to be filled over here. And well, I was expecting the price of crude to fill this gap, but again the war got resumed again and it never got stopped permanently, and so we are seeing a pump towards the upside in the price of crude rather than a dump. And well, to be quite honest, right now it is in middle of nowhere, and to be actually quite honest, it is not beneficial to trade crude oil right now, because again there's a lot of uncertainty in the market and it is just a hell lot of volatile right now, the price of crude oil. So taking any trade over here is just like gambling, no matter how much your analysis is worth considering. But to be quite honest, let's see what the market has to offer, what right now the war has to offer, because technical analysis does play its role, but whenever these sort of major macroeconomic events happen throughout the globe, then for short term fundamental analysis overpower the technical, and that is what we are seeing over here, and that is what we have seen over here also, when the price of crude oil did a breakout of the all of these levels incessantly in just quite few weeks without even a proper retest. Well, talking about gold and silver, in the end, to be quite honest, there's nothing much in the price of gold and silver. We have seen a little bit pump in the past couple of days, but recently they are just dumping towards the downside. Today's candle is forming a bullish price movement over here, as you can see. So it is pumping towards the upside. So overall, the price of gold and silver is kind of neutral only, nothing much right now, because they have already seen their huge manipulation over bought rallies way before this whole war got started. So to be quite honest, the smart people, the top 1% already booked their profits over here, the insiders and manipulators. Rest of them, the retailers, are still holding their gold positions and silver positions, or I would say spot lots, or maybe they already sold in a loss. So to be quite honest, nothing much in gold and silver. And right now every single thing depends on war right now, because anything can happen, and it will directly affect the price of crude oil first, then followed with gold and silver, then followed with crypto and various other assets as well. So it is better to just avoid taking any trade in this market and just to watch the charts, and I mean, just do your own analysis rather than taking any trade, or rather than listening to anyone. And again, I'm not sharing any sort of financial advice. You can do whatever you want. I'm not forcing you guys, or I'm not giving any sort of signals or some tips, but I'm just sharing my personal analysis and my point of view, that what I think is good in this market. And personally, I'm not taking any trade as well in crude, gold, or silver as of now. So yeah, you have already heard my stance on crude oil importantly, and gold and silver. The price of crude oil is pumping towards the upside. We have seen a V-shaped recovery towards the upside, and the price of gold and silver are kind of neutral right now, sideways and dumping and pumping a little bit. Nothing much right now. The main volume is still inside crude oil only, and I'm not personally taking any trade right now. I'm just watching the charts. No one knows where the price of gold and silver or crude will go in the next coming few days and weeks, especially in these uncertain situations whenever war happens. So it is better to just avoid taking any trade right now, and that is what exactly I'm doing. What do you guys are doing right now? And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.